Once the button turns red, you can press it. Here's Will. They bought themselves a pub. They bought themselves a pub and they called that the Golden Eagle Hotel. That Golden Eagle Hotel was operating in Boulder, Kalgoorlie, all the way up until 2010. In 2010, there was an earthquake out there that damaged the pub. A couple of years later, the pub burnt down and had to be demolished. The pub no longer exists. The Golden Eagle, Western Australia's biggest nugget, no longer exists. And the Welcome Stranger, Australia, and the world's biggest gold nugget no longer exists. Folks, what we're going to do now, we're going to move inside. As we move inside, please ensure you have your wrist tickets on. And we're going to start off by standing around the big coin. The big coin, not the Bitcoin. There's no Bitcoins inside. It's the big coin. Up to the door, thanks, mate. Just gonna stand. Tickets, guys, tickets. Yeah, okay, thank you. Just gonna stand around the top here. Around the big one, thank you.
Hello. Yippee! You see how easy it is just to mount and move. Well, well done. I wonder which equipment they used to do that. Yeah, because this is quite a high point going down. So yeah, it is, and the slope is quite intense. There is no sun today, unlike yesterday. Yeah, where did the sun go? This is afternoon time. You would be putting yourself at risk coming in the morning.
Longer exist. The Golden Eagle, Western Australia's biggest nugget, no longer exists. And the Welcome Stranger, Australia, and the world's biggest gold nugget no longer exists. Folks, what we're going to do now, we're going to move inside. As we move inside, please ensure you have your wrist tickets on. And we're going to start off by standing around the big coin. The big coin, not the Bitcoin. There's no Bitcoins inside. It's the big coin. Up to the door, thanks, mate. Just gonna stand. Tickets, guys, tickets. Yeah, okay, thank you. Just gonna stand around the top here. Around the big point, thank you. Hi folks, welcome inside the exhibition space. I see a lot of people taking photos of the big piece of plastic. Okay, the only plastic there is that Perspex space. Why are we using Perspex? Because Perspex is 17 times tougher than glass. And we have to use it. Because what that Perspex base is holding up is the world's biggest real and solid gold coin. This is the world record holder. It was made for the Queen's visit at Perth in 2011. She came here for the Commonwealth Heads of State meeting. It was released in 2012. Still to this day, it holds the record as being the world's biggest solid gold coin. It is real gold, it's solid gold. That's what the 4 nines on this side signify. It has a minimum gold purity and minimum gold content of 99.99%. 24 karat gold. On this side of the coin, it has the Queen's profile, and under the Queen's profile it has $1 million face value. This is not circulating currency. However, this is officially legal tender. Under the Australian Coins Act, it has been given an official legal tender amount of $1 million. That means if you own this coin and you roll it down to the bank, because it's officially legal tender, the bank manager must accept that you get your $1 million. Folks, if I own this coin, there is no way I'm rolling it down to the bank for $1 million. This is the 1-ton gold kangaroo coin. To be precise, it weighs 1,012 kilos. At today's gold price, this is worth about $115 million. That's right, you have $115 million of gold sitting there a couple of metres in front of you. Too bad the security feature is in its way. Nobody's picking this up and walking out with it. And just to make sure it's very safe, every afternoon we actually lower it down into this vault. This is a vault, it goes down in the vault and we close these doors up. Do you know why we do that? Because we don't want George Clooney and the Ocean's 11 guys coming here to steal our coin. But it'd make a great movie. Imagine Ocean's 18 trying to steal the world's biggest gold coin. Now this coin does travel around the world. Have a look at the size of this lifting arm. This is what they use to move it. It gets moved from time to time onto a trolley, onto an armoured vehicle, to the airport, onto a plane. It's been to Europe on display, it's been to Asia on display, it's been to the Americas on display, it's been to Wall Street. In America, for the opening of Wall Street, the bell ringing, and to promote gold trading here at the Perth Mint, the world's biggest solid gold coin. Folks, you come back up here a bit later on, there's some monitors on the other side, you can see how it's being made. Now, outside, I talked to you about some nuggets. Unfortunately, those nuggets no longer exist. In 1980, there was this guy by the name of Kevin Hillier. He was a carpenter, and he had a problem with his back. He had an operation on the back, and his doctor said, you must continue to walk to aid the recovery of your back. Kevin walked and walked, he got water walking, and when his compensation check arrived, when his work cover check arrived, he went and bought himself a couple of metal detectors, one for his wife Beth and one for himself. Things got really, really bad. There was a recession. Kevin couldn't get any more work. Him, his wife and his 4 kids were living in a converted bus in a caravan park. They were struggling, they prayed all the time. Beth, his wife, very, very religious, she prayed all the time, things to improve, they didn't. And Kevin said, God, we're struggling, please let me find a $10,000 gold nugget. And Beth said, you don't say that, and he said, okay, $5,000. A few weeks later, they were going to pick up their kids, and they were running a bit early. They stopped over at Kingower, and they went for a walk with the metal detectors. The wife went one way, Kevin went the other way. A few minutes later, Beth hears screaming coming from behind the bushes. She goes, oh no, he's hurting sore. She's run behind the bushes and Kevin's on his hands and knees crying. What's wrong, what's wrong? He points to the hole. There were tears of joy he was crying because Kevin has unearthed the top of a gold nugget, just that top bit. That's all they can see sticking out of that hole he dug. And they start digging and they're digging and they're digging. And the ground's extremely hard. And Beth said, will I go and get some help? And Kevin says, no way. And they kept on digging, they finally pulled it out of the ground. They pulled out a 27.2 kilo gold nugget in a similar shape to a hand. And how appropriate with all that praying, they named this the Hand of Faith. The Hand of Faith was worth about $450,000 in 1980, but Kevin knew we had something very, very special. He had Australia's biggest natural gold nugget in existence because the others have been melted down. So maybe someone's going to give him a bit more money. He gave this to an agent, the agent put up for offer. They got an offer from a New South Wales company for $650,000. They got 6 offers from the USA for $1 million each. The Australian government did not want to give him an export permit. After the lawyers sent him, Kevin's lawyers sent him a letter stating the family's struggling, they've had a good offer, the gold price will decline, if we don't get an export permit, we will sue you. He got his export permit. Kevin sold this to the Golden Nugget Casino chain in the USA. Australia's biggest natural nugget, and by the way, this is the biggest natural nugget ever discovered by a metal detector. It lives in the USA. Australia's second biggest natural nugget, not a piece of plastic but the real thing, lives in this display cabinet here. This is a real gold nugget. It is known as the New Normandy Gold Nugget. It weighs 25.5 kilos and it was just found outside of Kalgoorlie in 1995. It was sold to Normandy Mining. Newmont Mining has taken over Normandy Mining and hence today's name, the Newmont Normandy Nugget. Most of these, what you see in the display cabinets, are gold nuggets. In the back display cabinets, you have 2 specimens. A gold specimen and a silver specimen. They are known as the king and the queen. So when you pull a piece out of the ground and that piece has gold and that gold is intact and has a purity above 50%, we refer to that as a nugget. If you pull a piece out of the ground and that rock had bits of gold throughout of it that either aren't intact or below 50% purity, they are known as specimens. So these are nuggets, and in the back you can see a gold specimen. As you move closer, you'll see some quartz rock in it, and next to it you'll see a silver specimen. Once again, that grey one also has quartz rock in it. Folks, you come back here a bit later on. I'm going to move you into the melt house now for the gold pouring demonstration. So please follow me. Everybody just please follow me. Remember, you come back out a bit later on.